We're just past the midway point of the National Women's Soccer League season, but a pivotal match looms tonight for the Washington Spirit and the Portland Thorns. The Spirit back home after going 2 up, 2 down on a 4-game road trip, sit in their 4th and final playoff spot on 19 points. While the Thorns, defending their 2013 title, are 2 points back with 2 matches in hand on the 3 teams in front of them. 6 days ago, 2 very different teams met at Providence Park. The Spirit will make 5 changes to the squad that fell to strikes from Jess McDonald and Vera Bouquet. Back 2 for Portland from international duty are 2 of the biggest names in the game, Alex Morgan and Christine Sinclair. Saturday night in the National Women's Soccer League starts now. I'm Michael Minnick alongside Daniel Malgary, and good to see this team playing again after a couple weeks off for us.
Yes, it's certainly nice to be back here at the Soccerplex. Like you said, 5 changes in the lineup, 2 brand new additions to the program here, and I'm very excited to see what the product they're going to create today.
Let's start with that as Nikki Cross and Alex Singer step right into the lineup in the back 4.
Right, yeah. I mean, Singer was here back in 2009 with the Washington Freedom, so this is very familiar territory to her. She's going to be starting at outside back, and, you know, I'm very excited to see what she's capable of doing, getting up and down that right flank.
She and Nikki Cross both coming in from Germany. Their season's
right.
underway there. Cross, a veteran of WPS, played for St. Louis, played a couple of places, played her college ball at UConn, so someone that's also pretty familiar to American soccer fans.
Right. Before going over to Germany, she was with the Boston Breakers. I think her time in Germany has allowed her to continue to develop her game, and I think tonight is a great way to debut.
Let's put 2 players in the spotlight. Let's start with Portland, Vera Bouquet, the phenomenal Spaniard, the National Women's Soccer Player of the Week last week.
Right. I mean, she scored her first goal last week against the Spirit for the NWSL. So I think we have really yet to see what she's capable of doing in this league, and I'm very excited to see her today.
Then Alex Singer steps in at right back, and she's got one of the better ones in the women's game. And next to her, and Ali Krieger to kind of give her some help and instruction.
Right, exactly. What better than having Ali Krieger as your center back, which will give her the experience behind her, but will help her in going forward. Knowing that Ali Krieger is back there, she'll definitely be able to attack out of that right side.
Full lineups for you. Let's start with Portland. Michelle Betos gets the nod, and goal. Nadine Unger, of course, serving her suspension from the red card 2 games against Western New York. Back 4, Stephanie Catley, Nikki Marshall, another player that is familiar to Freedom fans.
Yep.
Emily Menges, the Georgetown product. And then Sarah Huffman, another player that played here for the Freedom. Sinead Farley and Amber Brooks will hold behind a pretty good attacking 4. Rebecca Moros, Alex Morgan, Vero, and Christine Sinclair.
That's a fantastic front 4 to have, and especially with the addition of Morgan coming back from national team duty. We're just happy to have her back in the NWSL now.
For the Spirit, Chantel Jones starts in goal as Ashlyn Harris picked up a little bit of a knock very late in that France friendly, so Chantel gets the nod, and it's the 3rd time she started against Portland in 2 years. 3 of her 7 pro starts have been against the Portland Thorns.
Right, and they have yet to win a game against Portland, I believe. So let's see what they can do tonight.
The back 4, Robin Gale is playing to the left of Nikki Cross. Ali Krieger keeps her spot at center back. Spirit haven't lost since Krieger made that move over after Tony Presley got hurt.
And I think it was a great, I mean, we've talked about this in the past. Ali Krieger is very versatile. She can go outside back, center back, holding mid. She can really go anywhere, and she's done great things in the center of the field for the Spirit this summer.
Singer at right back. Speaking of versatility, we see Tori Huster back in her natural position. She's playing holding midfielder with Yael Averbush.
Right. The one time we got to see Huster move up to holding mid last year, we were both incredibly excited about it. And again, I want to see what she's able to produce from that holding midfielder position.
That was the game at Seattle, the first Fox Soccer Channel broadcast for the NWSL, and she looked great as the Spirit took an early lead. But then Jess McDonald, who's on the bench today for Portland, scored 2 goals, led the Reign back for a 2-1 win. So it's Averbush and Huster in the defensive midfield slots. Christine Nairn moves up a line. She'll play as an attacking mid with Lori Lindsay and Dinah Matheson. And as usual, Jody Taylor is that center anchor up front.
Yes, definitely a different lineup than what we saw a couple weeks ago when we were here for the last home game. But, you know, I think they're very capable of putting out a good product today.
Spirit bench, Ashlyn Harris is the backup keeper, so she's there in a pinch if needed. Renee Cuellar, Veronica Perez, Lisa Devanna, who we'll talk about a little bit more, and Denisha Adams are the field substitutes. For Portland, the amateur Chris Lewis is the backup goalkeeper. And a pretty good bench, too. Mana Shim, Rachel Van Hollenbeck, Courtney Nemich, Jess McDonald, Allie Long, and Angie Kerr.
Not too shabby.
So the lineups again for the Spirit, it's Jones, Gale, Cross, Krieger, Singer, Huster, Averbush, Nairn, Lindsay, Matheson, and Taylor. For Paul Riley and the Thorns, Betos, Catley, Marshall, Mingus, Huffman, Farley, Brooks, Morgan, Boquette, Moros, and Sinclair. Lisa DeVanna, the latest addition to this Spirit team, Danielle, trade midweek. Bianca Sierra and 2 draft picks going the other way to Boston.
Right. Unfortunately, it's definitely sad to see anybody leave. Bianca Sierra, I'm sure she's going to find a great home up there in Boston, but it's good to have Lisa DeVanna back here at the Maryland Soccerplex. It's been a while.
Yeah, I was adding it up earlier. 2010 Washington Freedom made the playoffs. 7 players from that team are available on the field, and then KJ Spizak, as well as an assistant coach for the Spirit, is here.
I think Clyde and Jim were certainly onto something in those days.
Thorns will be in the road whites with the black shorts, black socks. Michelle Bedos in the purple today. Spirit in the home reds with the red shorts, a little bit of a white stripe on the bottom, and the red socks. Chantel Jones wearing the gray jersey today and the black shorts. Spirit, as you mentioned, Daniel, looking for their first ever point, let alone win against the Thorns all time. It's the second time they've met here at the Plex. Portland won 2-1 here back in May last year. Alex Morgan scoring a penalty in that one to give them the lead. Then a late goal as well coming in that second half. And then the Spirit got one very late from Matheson to make it a little bit interesting, but lost 2-1.
All the games here are incredibly interesting. We're always calling the game till the 92nd minute.
We're underway here at the Maryland Soccerplex. Portland will kick off going from left to right here in the first half. Brooks goes right for Huffman. Broken up, and it'll be handled by Averbush. Now Taylor charging forward. Has Matheson running hard to her right. Places behind Diana Matheson. Forward comes Singer. She'll get the ball now. Early cross from Alex Singer into the middle. Handled now in the box by Moros and played forward.
Something that we'll see from Alex Singer is just her work rate. We saw this in the first 30 seconds right here. She's just going to be able to get up and back the whole entire game on that right flank. We should expect to hear her name a lot tonight.
Bedos will give it away to Matheson. Touch in the middle for Lindsay. Touches it by the defender. Tries to pick it up on the other side, and Marshall got it. I think she was expecting Jody Taylor to run onto that.
Right. Well, I think Jody Taylor figured she was coming from offside, so I think if she would have touched it, she certainly would have been called.
Singer plays it right. Matheson active early. Early cross in towards Taylor. Over her will be volleyed out. Handled now in midfield by the Thorns. It's Farley. Goes short. Touch inside now for Christine Sinclair. Through now for Alex Morgan. Crossover to play it. Gets a touch in, but now Morgan in the box. Her cross deflected, and the first corner of the match will go Portland's way. 75 seconds in. Should mention for the Spirit, the new uniform numbers. Nikki Cross is wearing 12, Singer 21, and perhaps most humorously, DeVanna is wearing 24, which I'm sure she's never worn in her career.
Oh, I'm sure. Hey, I guess you got to go with what's available.
With Allie Long on the bench, Sarah Huffman will take the first corner of the game for Portland. In swinging ball from the far side. Driven in towards the 6, punched by Chantel Jones. Second ball whiffed on by Nairn. Kept alive by Portland as Nairn gets a piece of that. Here's Vero. Cutting inside. Fakes Nairn. Fakes her again. Gets the cross off towards the far post. Header bounced for her in the box as Marshall got a piece of it. Now volleyed by Sinclair, but right into the gloves of Chantel Jones as Krieger is shaken up. Krieger went 90 in both U.S. friendlies against France this week, so the fact that she is playing today just shows what her fitness is like.
Yeah, we were talking before the game. We weren't sure if she was even going to start tonight, or maybe she doesn't play the full 90. Obviously, Tori Huster can always slide back into that spot. But knowing Allie Krieger and the competitor she is, she's not going to want to come up.
Same story with Sinclair. Went 90 for Canada against Germany. She starts from the beginning today. Vero cutting back on Huster, plays it inside, and flag is up on Alex Morgan. A free kick as Chantel Jones gives her defense a round of applause.
Yeah, the back line certainly just stuck together and held their line there. So something I'm also happy about is I don't think I've ever seen Chantel Jones play in person. Every game she started has been away. So I'm excited for her to get the start here in front of the home crowd.
Vero. Now Sinclair dropping it back. Catley. Singer trying to get a tackle and does eventually tangle up and foul Christine Sinclair. So we were talking before the game, Danielle, off air about chemistry. both these teams really trying to kind of find it with some new pieces in there, but you have some, some connections. Chantel Jones and Alex Singer, for one, played in college together, so you have that goalkeeper-defender communication, which is so important.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? This happens in the professional game. People are traded, things change. You always have to adapt, and that's what makes these players professionals. They're able to adapt to the new environment and fill in quickly.
And then when Ashlyn Harris comes back, she and Cross played together in St. Louis.
Right.
So you have that.
Right.
Huster now. Back for Krieger. Square, and not a good ball, and Nikki Cross will have to run it down here on the near sideline. Does keep it in play. Has her pass deflected. Now Morgan trying to get a touch in the box. Morgan turns, lays it off. First time shot for Sinclair. Off the crossbar and in. And Portland has taken an early lead in the 5th minute as Christine Sinclair grabs her 2nd of the season.
The buildup there was actually very unfortunate because Allie Krieger gave a giveaway that she doesn't usually do that. And Nikki Cross tried to make the best of it by serving it out, but got a deflection, fell to Alex Morgan's feet, and boom, there we go. Goal in the first 5 minutes.
I initially thought Morgan was going to shoot that because she was pretty open, but it was a good decision to make the pass.
It was an absolutely fantastic finish by Sinclair. Upper 95 post. Can't ask for much better than that.
Christine Sinclair, the assist to Alex Morgan. Sinclair for Morgan in the 5th minute.
First assist of the season from Morgan, who was playing just in her 2nd game for the Thorns, but obviously already in good form, scored twice against France.
Right.
Through ball now for Averbush, who's also playing a little bit higher. Her early cross is picked off at the near post by Michelle Betos. Betos will move her players forward. Portland this year, first goal has been big. They're 5-0 when they score first, 0-4-2 when they concede first. So Paul Rowley's got to be loving that stat right now with this team ahead.
Does. And I wonder how much the coaches really pay attention to those sort of statistics.
I mean, it almost is kind of self-explanatory. If you score first, you have a better chance to win, but it shows a lot about the causes of a team. As Brooks absolutely rips one, and Jones has to tip it off the bar. It stays out, but Portland nearly had a 2-goal lead early.
Chantel Jones did just enough to get a finger on that to tip it, to hit the crossbar.
Mentioned Morgan's fine form. Amber Brooks had both assists on the goals against the Spirit last week, so she is playing her best soccer since coming over from Germany. Catley for Moros is Portland very much on the front foot right now. Here's the Australian on the sideline, marked by Matheson. Turns nicely. Dodges the tackle. Giveaway now to Krieger in the back. Matheson inside looking for Averbush. It's stolen away by Vero. Early cross towards Farley, broken up by Cross and cleared by Tori Huster. Brooks going early again. Knocked down by Singer, but won again by Marshall in the back. Krieger has to come over under pressure from her national team teammate Alex Morgan and gets to throw it off the deflection in the 7th minute.
With the Spirit going down so early in the game, this is going to be a hard team to fight back against. They're absolutely capable because they've shown that they're able to fight back in games all year, but digging themselves an early hole, that's a tough one.
Huster for Nairn. And all you have to do is look at the World Cup and how many comebacks we've seen in that tournament already to know that this game's far from over.
Right.
Sliding challenge from Sarah Huffman gives a throwaway to the Spirit. In the 8th minute, it'll be Robin Gale to take. She's back from national team duty as well with Canada. Headed out by Marshall. That friendly against Germany. Kind of a dress rehearsal for them hosting the World Cup next year. Big team on their home turf.
Right.
Brooks back for Marshall. Germany won that game 2-1 on a late penalty kick. Speaking of Germans, Kirsten Guerra-Freckes not with the Spirit yet, but they're expecting her in the near future, hopefully by that game next week at Houston.
Oh, yeah. She's going to be another great addition. I think there's obviously been multiple changes to the Spirit lineup, but I think she will absolutely give a ton to the Spirit moving forward.
Guerra-Freckes, 43 goals and 130 caps for Germany, and she scored 151 goals in the Frauen Bundesliga. Farley up the line. Sinclair trying to play the back heel. It comes off of Nikki Cross. A throw for the Thorns, who have really dominated play early. Morgan trying to shake a triple team and draws the foul. And a little bit of a longer whistle there from Kristen Salazar, our center official, and she'll chat with Robin Gale about that foul.
And she gets yellow.
Robin Gale going in the book for the third time this year. That's the most on the Spirit team. So creeping towards that 5 that gets you a 1-game suspension.
Caution has been issued to Robin Gale of the Spirit. Yellow card
And
in the 9th minute.
that was definitely Robin Gale that committed the foul.
Oh, yeah.
no
absolutely.
no
Oh,
confusion, unlike at Portland last week,
Right.
where poor Jordan
I
Angeli
know.
was given 2 yellows. The league has said they're backing the referee, and they said the second yellow should have been given to Angeli, but that's not what I saw.
I did not see any sort of contact in that kind of altercation or that clump of people where she got that card.
Free kick for Hoffman against a 2-player wall. Bennett nicely towards the far post. Jones line misses the punch. Now picks it up on the other side. Still loose. Goes off the post. Handball appeal not given. And now still loose and finally headed in. And Alex Morgan, after all of that, has made it 2-0.
I mean, kudos to Portland right there. They never gave up. They put 3 shots on frame in about 10 seconds. That was just a good battle right there on all aspects for the Thorns.
So now the Spirit in a deeper hole. 2-0, 10 minutes in.
Morgan unassisted. It comes in the 10th minute.
Morgan will get the goal unassisted. Is had about 4 or 5 blocks.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that's one of those things where you can go back and watch the film frame by frame and figure out maybe who made the final shot or final pass. But
Right.
just some confusion in there. And Morgan with a goal and an assist in her second game back in the league.
Yeah, in the first 10 minutes. Unfortunate for Spirit. You know, they battled as much as the Thorns battled to put it away. They battled to try to keep it out, and unfortunately the Thorns just got that extra touch.
We mentioned the chemistry of this back line. You have a giveaway that leads to the first goal,
Right.
and then just not being able to make a clearance on the second goal.
Right.
Howie Krieger would love to just serve a beauty and get one right back for the Spirit.
And that's an unfortunate 2 goals against Chantel Jones. I thought she had a very good game against Portland last week.
Floats in towards Huster, one in the air by Christine Sinclair, popped up now by Farley. Lindsay, Gale, early ball in. Now Singer, broken up by Sinead Farley. Catley forward, trying to play Vero, and it's Krieger now stealing it for Matheson. Sliding tackle from Catley, nicely timed. Vero keeps it in play. Playing it through now for Christine Sinclair on the left flank, and that would just have too much on it. Out for a Spirit throw. So, if you're just joining us, Portland's already got 2 on the board. Christine Sinclair scoring in the 5th minute off a pass from Alex Morgan off a turnover. And then Morgan, in a scramble in the box, heads home the Thorns second in the 10th minute. So, a Portland team that has been hot and cold, hot so far.
Especially with Morgan and Sinclair coming back into the lineup. Go figure, we see those are the first 2 that score the goals here tonight.
Alex Morgan, with those 2 goals against France, has already passed Julie Foudy on the all-time scoring list at the age of 24. Good job there by Portland to keep that in play. Huster does win it for Robin Gale, and the foul there is Farley tangles up with Gale. A free kick for the Spirit. Nairn and Averbush will discuss who's going to take this one, and it looks like it'll be Christine Nairn. Good spot for a left-footed serve.
It's actually a very similar spot that the Thorns just scored their second goal from.
Driven in towards the far post, over the head of Alex Singer. Matheson will let it roll for a throw-in. Now Nikki Cross will move up as Singer will take the throw. Lindsay trying to lay it back. Vero tries to break it up, but it'll be Singer. And finally, Catley will clear. Averbush goes up the line. Singer sets up the cross, hits a nice one in towards Jody Taylor. Volley by Taylor and cleared off the line. Sarah Huffman in the right place at the right time to save that one for Portland.
Absolutely, and that's the job of the defenders. When the goalkeeper steps out, Beto stepped out there on Taylor. Taylor got a great touch past her. Sarah Huffman, like you said, right place, right time, and that's the job. You sometimes have to back up your keeper.
Averbush drives in looking for Rory Lindsay, but Betos will make the play. And
that was fantastic cover by Sarah Huffman.
I'm sure Betos will not be happy with her defense for letting Alex Singer have that much time to set up that cross. Krieger heading it forward. Moros chests it back. Catley will go all the way to Michelle Betos. Skips off the foot of Rebecca Moros, a throw for the Spirit. Matheson for Huster. Now Nikki Cross. Gale. Really good defending there again from Sarah Huffman. This time she wins the throw.
In that situation, Robin Gale, Nikki Cross passes out to her. Just play it back the way the ball came from. See if you can switch the point again through the backfield.
Huffman in the middle for Moros. Broken up by Lori Lindsay, but a second chance now for Marshall. Popped up by Alex Morgan, who was shielded against Cross. Try and drop it for Farley, but it's Averbush stealing. Nairn. Gale fighting for it. It's a hard tackle in against Marshall, and Robin Gale might be in a little bit of trouble with a yellow already.
Yeah, she certainly has to be careful. I mean, it was a good 50-50 ball, but Robin Gale definitely came in a little late on that tackle.
I think if she hadn't already been booked, she would have been booked there.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, got a lot of player and not much of the ball.
Yep.
Huffman driving it forward. Brought down by Cross, looking for Gale. Farley looking to work with Brooks. Farley gets a second look at it. Goes wide for Amber Brooks. Crossing towards the near post, and that's an easy catch for Chantel Jones. Matheson back for Krieger. The Spirit team, Danielle, certainly has shown the offensive firepower this year to make this kind of comeback, but set out the last two games, so the form has dipped a little bit for Jody Taylor and company.
Yeah, and going into this game, the Thorns definitely have the momentum, but being at home, the Spirit do put on great performances at home, and oftentimes they've come back from deficits like this.
It's a good early ball for Jody Taylor, but didn't have a lot of support and pretty much had to go one-on-one there and lost possession. Nice touch there from Nairn for Taylor. Now Lindsay. Huster, switch right for Matheson. She'll go against Stephanie Catley. Vero there in support, forcing Matheson back. Matheson square for Averbush. Touch inside, looking for Jody Taylor. Second chance for Averbush. Her shot is blocked. Huster's pass rolls out. Singer will play it up the line. Now Matheson. Crosses blocked by Catley, and Matheson will take the corner. Better stuff here from the Spirit as they get into this game a little bit.
Certainly. There was a good little sequence over here on the left side that built up to playing it to Huster in the middle, switching the point through Huster to the right side. That was a good bit of work there from the Spirit.
Christine Nairn will hit an in-swinging ball from the right side here in the 18th minute. Huster and Lindsay on the keeper, Betos. Gale at the far post. Everybody else around the top of the 18. Ball driven in towards the middle, headed out by Christine Sinclair. Catley will not be able to finish the job. It's a scramble at the top of the 18, finally popped up high by Alex Morgan. Giveaway now to Sinclair. It's a 2v2. Vero making the run, but Sinclair's touch is heavy, and the Spirit get a break.
That was certainly a good read on Sinclair's touch there by Ellie Krieger.
Kristen Salazar will back up the throw from Sarah Huffman. Sinclair in the 5th minute, Morgan in the 10th. Your scoring summary 18 minutes in. Morgan also getting an assist on that first strike from the Canadian Christine Sinclair. Krieger. Square for cross. Krieger again. Token pressure from Morgan. Chip forward looking for Jody Taylor, headed out easily by Emily Menges.
The Spirit's best goal scoring opportunities come when they keep the ball on the ground and they try to possess. These longer balls don't really work. They just need to try to build something through the midfield, finding Jody Taylor's feet, knocking it back. They just need to continue to keep the ball.
Right, because Taylor's either, like you said, going to kind of post up there, or you're going to play it out for a run coming in from wide. You only
Right.
have one forward, really, so you don't have the luxury of having somebody chase.
Right.
Giveaway now, again, as Huffman will play it up the line for Farley. Has Vero in the middle and Morgan at the far post. Farley lays it off into the box for Vero. Houston running step for step, shields her off nicely, gives her a little bit of a hit there, but no call, it's just a goal kick.
Hey, shoulder to shoulder. I really don't mind that from Tori Huster.
Huster was the player that probably should have been carded on the Jordan Angeli mishap there in the last game.
Right.
Got tangled up with Vero, so those two were new acquaintances again.
Yeah, that was kind of an awkward situation, that Angeli card. If anything, I thought it was a dangerous play by Vero sitting on the ball.
Nairn going direct up the line. Betos off her line will make the catch at the top of the 18. Good read there from the goalkeeper. Betos has done well. Nidhi Nagar, of course, got sent off in that big loss to Western New York, so Betos just had to kind of come in for damage control, but shut out the Spirit last Sunday and has done well so far in the first 20 minutes. Another mix-up in the back. Morgan in the box. Tries to cut it back. Krieger with the block there. Trying to shake Alex Morgan. Finally has to go wide for Nairn. Farley keeping it alive towards the corner. Played short, now knocked up the line. Give away to Huffman. 1-2 with Brooks. Now playing it for Sinclair, who sticks a leg out to keep it alive. Brooks now has her cross deflected. Comes to Morgan at the top of the 18. Left-footed shot bending towards the far post and wide.
That's certainly not somebody you want to give time and space at the top of the 18, as we saw Alex Morgan scoring her first goal against France this week.
Back line has been sloppy passing the ball, and that's handed some chances to Portland early.
Right. And a lot of it is because they don't really know each other very well. This is a brand new back line, starting fresh.
Allie Krieger again trying to shake off a little bit of a knock as she limps towards the top of the 18, and that's a big concern. As we mentioned, she's got 180 minutes on her legs already this week.
Yeah, you got to wonder if she's going to put in a full 90 today.
Ball comes towards Matheson, who shields off Catley, but the touch is heavy, given away to the fellow Canadian, Sinclair. Now Moros chipping it up the line. Early cross in, and it'll roll to Chantel Jones.
It still looks as if Allie Krieger's having a tough time shaking off whatever happened.
Spirit have a couple substitutes warming up. I would imagine the move would be just to shift Huster back, and then you put Adams or Perez in your midfield.
Right.
Devanna warming up also. See Satara Murray on the concourse. She wouldn't be a bad option either.
Yeah.
That he can call her up from the reserves. But still has that college eligibility issue.
Oh,
playing at North Carolina. Early ball from Taylor. Blocked by Nikki Marshall and knocked clear. Murray and the Spirit reserves playing to a 0-0 draw earlier today against New York Magic, but I thought Murray was the best player on the field. Made some nice runs from that defensive spot. Really fast, physical play.
Right. And the reserves have been doing a great job. I think, was this their first tie of the season? Every other game they've won.
Vero playing it from Morgan. It's Cross winning it on the near side. Gale. Hit clear by Krieger. Ball goes over the heads of Taylor and Marshall. Late whistle here. And a free kick for Portland.
That's an interesting call there.
I guess the argument is that Taylor climbed over the back
of Marshall.
But
I thought it was the other way around.
Mangus playing it short. Vero pops up in a dangerous position. Now goes back again. Moros. Diagonal ball. Krieger will play it. And watch it roll for a goal kick. Midway through this first half, the Spirit have gotten a little bit of their footing, Danielle, but that 2-0 lead is still a tough burden to overcome.
Right. I mean, it's hard. Anytime you give up 2 goals in the first 10 minutes, it's hard to kind of crawl your way back in. But we've talked about this before. A 2-0 lead in soccer, that's one of the hardest leads to keep. Because if the Spirit get a goal, they're right back in it, and they have the edge going forward.
High boot there from Menges gives a free kick to the Spirit. Yeah, I don't buy into that 2-0 is the most dangerous lead, but it is a dangerous lead.
Yes, yeah. I'm always happy when I'm the one that's up 2-0.
Free kick for the Spirit, and this is the kind of territory where Averbush just loves to crank it. So we'll
Mm-hmm.
see if she'll get a look, whether it would be Christine Nairn.
My guess it would be Christine Nairn that's going to rip this. She's had quality set pieces this season.
4-player wall. And Brooks will also run off of it. It'll be Averbush striking it into the wall.
I feel like you need a little bit more trickery at this distance to beat a wall. Obviously, the pace. See here?
Flags up on Jody Taylor as Averbush tried to chip it in for her.
Obviously, the pace of the ball is great, but every single time you just hit that straight shot on frame, the wall's going to do its job. Christine Nairn does a great job at kind of serving the ball with her left foot, and she's able to curl the ball around walls on multiple occasions.
And that's a plus, I think, for both teams in terms of defending set pieces, playing back-to-back.
Right.
Because Portland's had really 2 weeks to say, well, if Nairn's taking the free kick, this is how many we need in the wall.
Right.
This is where she's going to shoot from.
Right.
If Averbush is going to take it, this is where we need to be. Singer, pressured by Vero, will knock it out for a throw-in. Portland playing with a lot of pace and a lot of speed in their attack. They're really pressing the Spirit well.
And I'm sure what they want to do is test this new back line by the Spirit. Why not take chances? See if they're capable of holding you off.
Off the turnover, Taylor plays it for Lindsay. Switch now in the middle for Huster. Averbush will work in the left back, Robin Gale. Marked tightly by Huffman. Cross. Averbush trying to lay it off, and Huffman steals. Brooks. Morgan. Ricochet there, and Morgan gets it back, plays it in. Vera was onside, but wasn't going to be able to do anything with that ball. Whipped right under her neck. Space for Singer. Now Matheson. Going over the top, Jody Taylor's onside, but picked off by Menges. Stolen away by Taylor. Foul and a free kick for the Spirit. I was talking with Jennifer Gordon of the Equalizer before the game about Rookie of the Year candidates, and I said I'm excited to see Emily Menges play because I think she's been rock solid, played every minute for this Portland team this year. I'm sure she has lots of friends and family from her Georgetown days watching her here today. Ball inside, looking for Nairn, caught by Betos.
And playing next to the experience of Nikki Marshall, I'm sure she's gaining so much knowledge by playing with Nikki Marshall.
Yeah, it's great to have that veteran next to you. Nikki Marshall, of course, had that with Kat Whitehill when she played for the Freedom when she was starting out. Ball comes off the leg of Nikki Cross. A throw for Huffman, and the Spirit take on the Boston Breakers. Our first look at the Breakers. The Spirit have played at Boston twice. Be a homecoming for Bianca Sierra after being traded midweek.
Boston's a great town. I think, it's a win-win situation for her.
Huffman will take the throw. Into the box, knocked clear by Krieger. Averbush will play it on the floor for Lindsay. And now Singer. This portion of the match is brought to you by Hampton Inn & Suites, Washington, D.C., North Gaithersburg, the official hotel partner of the Washington Spirit for 2014. Fiero laying it off. Catley playing it again back. Vieira goes all the way back to Betos outside of her 18. Pressured by Jody Taylor, gets it away, but too strong for Menges, and a throw off the pressure from Jody Taylor.
Right, and that's what work rate does. You just put a little bit of pressure on Betos. She sends a ball to Menges that she's not able to control, and then the Spirit winning in their half the field.
Averbush can't make it work there, and it comes out to Vero. Touched out by Catley, a throw for the Spirit again. Lindsay for Matheson. Outside of the foot pass from Lindsay towards the top of the 18, chested down by Farley. Vero. Farley. And back again for Menges. Brooks gives it away. Chance now for Nairn. She'll try the first time shot, and it's skipped by Betos on the bad hop. Corner for the Spirit, but that could have been more.
Yeah, that certainly, why not take that opportunity? Jody Taylor worked her butt off to win that ball. Why not take that shot? Tess Betos, I think that's the first time she's really been tested in the first 30 minutes here, and she coughed up that ball. They're going to have to continue to take shots from outside the 18. Continue to test her.
Nairn wins a corner for herself, which she'll take from the near side. Ball bent in. Headed out by Christine Sinclair, who I think has won every 50-50 ball in the box today.
I'm sure she has. And it's good with the addition of Nikki Cross. Nikki Cross is just another target player for the Spirit on these set pieces.
5'10", Nikki Cross. Hoffman wasn't sure what to do and gave it away. Jody Taylor immediately appeals for deflection, and that's correct, so it'll be a corner.
It all happened so fast, I didn't even have a chance to see if there was a deflection.
If there wasn't, Taylor sold it well. She immediately put the hand out. Nairn will try again. Try to avoid Christine Sinclair this time. Nope. Headed out by Sinclair again. Left for Nairn. Plays the early ball in, and a nice play there by Menges to block the cross, which was headed for Tori Huster.
Third time's a charm.
Spirit will change things up a little bit by having Lori Lindsay as an option short. They'll play it short for Lindsay. Gets the cross off towards the middle, towards Huster, over her, bounces in the box, still battled for, volleyed high by Jody Taylor, and caught on the leap by Michelle Betos. Whistle here as player is shaken up in the box for Portland. Can't see yet.
I think that's Sinclair. I believe it is. Yes.
It is Christine Sinclair, who is back on her feet, limping out of the box, but certainly that's a cause for concern, as she has played very well today, and as usual. Drop ball will just be laid at the feet of Michelle Betos, and she'll come out to get it. Allie Krieger has so far fought through her knock that she picked up early in this first half, has played on. Sinclair will try and do the same. Hoffman has had a good match. Shields off there, tries to find Farley. Perfectly timed tackle there, and Nairn goes tumbling, and they'll give the throw to Portland. Are they going to say that's a foul?
They're calling that a foul?
I'm still not sure, honestly, as Hoffman picks it up.
She certainly got a little bit of the body before the ball there, but I thought it was a very good tackle by Sarah Huffman.
Ball knocked clear. Hoffman, with that versatility, being a midfielder, being a defender, I think she's done a good job of reading the game well. When Gail's come forward, she's picked her up immediately and not allowed her space to switch the field.
Right, yeah, Gail really has not been able to come forward because every time Sarah Huffman's right there to read it.
Lindsay wants it at her feet. Gail will instead go up the line, try and find Jody Taylor, who loses the 50-50 header to Marshall, but it will be a Spirit throw. Comes to Jody Taylor, who chests it down, marked by Nikki Marshall. Drop back for Huster. Kind of a tweener ball for Eastern Averbush, but Krieger plays it over the top. Rising forward is Marshall to win it. Volley from Averbush, and that was always going wide.
That's a very hard ball to strike while it has a little bit of a spin coming at you from about 20, 25 yards out. That's definitely a hard ball for Averbush to strike.
Averbush has taken 13 shots this year, just 2 on frame. She's got that hard shot, but if she doesn't put it on target,
Right.
it's not going to do you any good. Farley, good tackle from Gale. Playing it up the left wing for Christine Nairn. Has options of Matheson in the middle, and she'll get it. Switch now right. Lindsay cutting inside on the left foot. Good defending there for Amber Brooks to break things up. Second look for Lindsay. Plays it for Taylor, who turns nicely. Taylor in the box. Left-footed shot saved by Betos.
That was a great save. Lori Lindsay unfortunately coughed the ball up, but she was able to win it back. Found Taylor's feet. She spun out. That was very well done. Just the placement was not there.
Really good turn there from Taylor to set that up too.
Right. And you usually don't see that out of Jody Taylor. She's around the PK spot. She's usually blasting it into the back of the net.
Yeah, I think maybe she had too much time to think about that one.
Maybe. That's quite possible.
Couldn't decide whether to place it or hit it with some power, kind of went in between.
It seemed as if she was going for just the placement, and it was a little off. I think that's definitely a situation where Jody Taylor needs to finish to keep the spirit in this game.
Sinclair. Tackle there with Gale, and it goes out for a spirit throw. What's impressive about Portland is they have obviously all these big names, but we've seen Vera, we've seen Sinclair, we've seen Morgan come back and do some hard work as well defending.
Absolutely. They're all battling for each other.
A little bit of a ticky-tack foul there on Nikki Marshall, free kick for the Spirit. A little push in the back, but that happens 50 times in a game, really. Krieger plays it square for Matheson. Touch back for Huster. Early chip in towards Lindsay, who's open in the box. Chested down, tries the volley. Misses wide. Had daylight, but it closed on her pretty quickly.
That was a great effort by Lori Lindsay there. I don't even think she was really expecting that ball, but she did a good job to bring it down with her chest. Just a little out of reach for her to strike it.
I think we've seen just about the entire playbook from the Spirit on set pieces,
Yeah.
corners, free kicks. They've had a lot of looks from this left side especially.
Asking the ball girl to tie your shoe, Betos.
I don't know if you saw the Kansas City-Houston game last week, but Kansas State was pressing for a late winner, and the ball girl hurriedly rushed and gave them a ball, the visiting ball girl, and so they went down and scored.
Oh, wow. I did not get a chance to see that.
Huster. Early ball in and nobody home at that far post. Stolen away from Huffman by Lindsay in the corner. And now a foul and a good spot for a free kick here.
Yeah, that certainly was a foul. I think that was a little bit of a frustration foul because Lori Lindsay did such a good job to win that ball from Huffman on the sideline. She just turned and took her down.
Mark Parsons with some instructions for Nikki Cross here, maybe suggesting a move to get away from Christine Sinclair. Great part about this free kick is you can get the 10 yards and really hit a nice ball. Nairn will hit it right-footed. Driven in towards the near post, flicked on by Lindsay. Touched by Sinclair, that woman again in the box. Still loose and cleared. Appeals by the Spirit
for
bench.
A handball, yes. I certainly thought that was a handball.
Driven in towards Huster, her header is saved by Betos. Good early ball there from Krieger.
And the momentum has shifted here a little bit. We really haven't seen the opportunities coming for the Thorns like they were in the first 15 to 20 minutes. It certainly has shifted for the Spirit. They just now need to put one of these opportunities away.
Vero wide, and that splits Farley and Morgan perfectly. A throw in for the Spirit. Ashlyn Harris up the bench to pick that one up. If you're just joining us, Harris is the backup today, but that little knock she picked up really late in that France game, meaning Chantel Jones gets the start instead in goal. And really not much Chantel could have done with those 2 goals. Good finishes off turnovers and scrambles, respectively, for Portland from Sinclair in the 5th minute and Morgan in the 10th. This portion of the match is brought to you by Mama Lucia, the official Italian restaurant of the Washington Spirit. Please visit the Mama Lucia stand at all Spirit home games or visit them online at mamaluciarestaurant.com. Sinclair. Krieger now for Lindsay. Left it comes for Nairn. She'll tee up the right foot, play it for Huster. Huster pointing out a run from Nairn. Goes for Gale. Gale with spaces. Nairn sets a nice screen there. Gale off the pick, though. Hits it towards the near post, and it's caught by Betos.
I haven't seen that in a while. Nairn did a great job to set a little pick.
Could have got a layup off that in basketball.
Yeah.
That was a really good pick.
But with that movement of Gale, she has to do a better job to get a better service into the box, especially when you have numbers crashing. Give your team a chance. It's just too easy for Betos to sniff that one out.
Farley up the line for Vero. Early ball and looking for the run of Morgan, but knocked out by Cross. Krieger had Morgan tracked pretty well also. Morgan for Farley. Sets up the right foot, time and space across, and she will towards Sinclair. Foot going towards the far post, but the only player close to that was Catley, the left back, and she wasn't going to make that aggressive run for such a low percentage chance. Throw for the Spirit. Moros thought it would go her way, but
I believe that was called a dangerous play by Jody Taylor.
Okay.
She did go cleats up.
Referee pointed left and then did give the foul. Mingus over to take it. Ball in towards the top of the 18, headed by Cross, down for Washington. Singer chipping it right. Taylor trying to play it through for Matheson, but stolen away. Mingus goes left and nobody home. In white, it'll be a throw for the Spirit in the 42nd minute. Steal there. Morgan trying to play it through, but it's broken up. Cleared by Singer forward. Good shield there from Christine Nairn to drop it for Averbush. Gale. Here he turns it over to Amber Brooks. Huffman chesting it centrally for Brooks. Laid off now looking for Moros. She dodges the tackle from Matheson and goes left for Stephanie Catley. Early left-footed ball from the Aussie towards Morgan. Pops up the header. Kept alive now on the right edge of the box by Sinead Farley. Cuts back on Gale. Farley trying to play it through for Morgan. Gets a second look at it. Drops it back for Vero, and that shot's blocked by Krieger.
The great thing about what Portland does, when they attack, they allow themselves to get a bunch of opportunities from one. That was a couple of shots there that just they kept deflecting and they kept going.
Huffman,
much like the second goal.
Huffman whips in a cross that goes off the head of Robin Gale. A corner for Portland. This time they'll have Huffman screen the keeper, Chantel Jones. Cross marking Christine Sinclair, who will be the likely target of this. Sinclair making the near post run. It comes far post and goes out of play. Not the best of serves for Amber Brooks. Jones will knock it back into play. Taylor for Averbush. Right now for Matheson. Early ball towards Jody Taylor, headed by Mingus essentially, but right to Nairn. She chests it down for herself, but Mingus comes in to fix her own mistake, and she'll play it wide. Gale. Lindsay. Nairn. Broken up. And now it'll be Morelos for Portland. Early ball looking for the run of Alex Morgan, but not in the right channel, and it'll be picked off by Nikki Cross. Cross coming over from Bayern Munich and dealt with a lot of injuries this year, but was able to come back and play in the last 2 games of the season, so she should be getting back to peak fitness, if not now, then pretty soon.
And as the season progresses and she gets more comfortable in her surroundings, I think we'll continue to see her growth through the Spirit.
Early ball for Vero, running step for step with Gale. Krieger there in support as Vero will work towards the corner. Drop for Farley is stolen away by Lindsay. Now Krieger. Huster. Averbush continues it right to Singer. Averbush again with lots of time and space. Goes square for Huster. Pass left is blocked by Farley. Singer drops it for Krieger. We'll have 1 minute of stoppage time, which will start in about 10 seconds. Taylor fighting for it. Still won by Portland. Now Brooks. And not on the same page with Catley. A throw for the Spirit off some more good pressure. Into stoppage time now here in the first half. Sinclair knocks it out for another Spirit throw. Matheson. Singer. Crosses blocked in a corner for the Spirit. They'll have to rush here in stoppage time. Over comes Nairn from the left side to take it. Everybody for Portland back within 20 yards of goal defending this final set piece of the first half. It'll be a left-footed ball from Christine Nairn. Driven in towards the box, headed by Lindsay across. Averbush recovering. And good work there from Brooks to win it. Shield and a tackle there from Averbush will concede a throw-in.
The service there from Nairn was just a little bit behind the runners. I think the runners crashing into the box need to hold the runs a little bit more so they keep that ball in front of them.
Kristen Salazar blows it into the first half, and Daniel Malagari, Portland dominating early, get that quick 2-goal lead. Spirit played a little bit better after that, but haven't been able to put one in the net.
Right, absolutely. The Thorns did a great job of putting 2 goals away in the first 10 minutes. That's something you want when you had the travel days prior. You want to find yourself up early in a game so you're not battling back to get yourself back into one. So I think they did a good job at finishing their opportunities. Go ahead.
One point with the travel, the national team players came right from where they were. So for Morgan, she was already on the East Coast in Connecticut, comes down and gets an assist and a goal in the first 10 minutes.
Right, and those 2 goals were absolutely deserved. Unfortunately, the Spirit conceded those 2 goals in the first 10, but they've been battling. They've had much opportunities as well. They just have to focus on finishing in the final third.
Sinclair's got a goal. I think her contributions defensively have been just as important.
Oh, sure, yeah. She's won pretty much every single 50-50 ball in every single corner the Spirit have taken. So, she's good on both sides of the ball. She's such an asset to any team she plays for.
For the Spirit, obviously, you're breaking in a new group in the back with Cross and Singer. What did you see from them in the first half?
I would say a little shaky in the first 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, but I really felt they settled in nicely after the whole game settled down. I think it's going to take a while for them to get used to their surroundings, but all in all, I would say they're doing a pretty good job.
I think another plus of this group coming in is you can move Nairn a little bit more forward. I thought she had a nice match on the left side so far.
Right. Oh, yeah. I mean, you're never going to see Christine Nairn ask for balls being played in front of her. She's never going to want to try to win a foot race. She's going to want the ball at her feet, and she's going to want to create opportunities. So I think if the Spirit continue to find her feet and find Jodie Taylor, I think they'll be able to build going into the second half.
Nice crowd here at the Maryland Soccer Box. We'll flood the concession stands and take a deep breath before the second half. We'll do the same. We'll be back with the second half here in about 10 minutes. You're watching the NWSL on YouTube. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Maryland Soccer Box. Michael Minnick alongside Danielle Malgary. 2-0 Portland, Danielle, and really they were able to take over this game early. Goals in the 5th and the 10th minute.
And that's never what you want to see, especially from the home side. But the Spirit have done well to create opportunities. They just need to put some away.
Let's dig into the highlights of this first half as Portland was really able to take advantage of a turnover. Morgan with a smart layoff there.
And that was a perfectly placed ball by Sinclair, upper 95 post.
Hoffman had a great first half. This free kick really gave Chantel Jones trouble. And after a scramble, the ball seemed like it was magnetically attracted to Portland players, and finally Alex Morgan finished.
Yeah.
Brooks was able to test Jones early, but she made a good save there. And then the Spirit, as that half wore on, picked the game up a little bit. Taylor's best chance was right there.
Yes, it was. I'm shocked she didn't hit it with a bit more pace to find the back of the net.
Lindsay was able to get a half chance there. It would have been a tough goal. Would have been a highlight reel goal, to be sure. And then a lot of corners for the Spirit. This was probably their best look off of those. And there's the appeal for the handball in Vero. And that could have gone either way.
Right.
Either way, it wasn't called. Change for the Spirit of the half, and I thought that's what we might see based on what happened this week and also what happened in the first half. Allie Krieger is done for the day. Lisa Devanna on.
Right, and I'm interested to see how everything shifts. I'm guessing Nairn will kind of come into the middle.
Huster at center back.
Huster at back, and then Devanna as one of the wide players.
And my first thought when the Spirit made this trade was Lisa Devanna is perfect for that wide role.
Oh, absolutely. She does. And Jody Taylor does such a great job as that high striker, holding players off and spinning and having players run off of her. Why not? That's the perfect person. If it's not Crystal Dunn, why not Lisa Devanna? She can do great things as well.
Underway here in the second half, the Spirit will go from left to right, trying to cut into this 2-goal deficit. Speaking of Crystal Dunn, Danielle, she was doing some fitness work at the half, so you got to figure she's close to coming back from that hamstring injury.
Yes, and she's certainly missed. She's created so many opportunities in every single game that she's played, whether it's at right back, attacking mid, outside mid, whatever it is. She's done some really good things in her first year in the Spirit uniform.
Also on the entry front, Toni Presley was like she's progressing well. She was participating in some drills and warm-ups. Caroline Miller also started to make that long journey back. She's been out for nearly a year now. Early ball knocked out for a goal kick for the Spirit in the 46th minute.
And I'd be interested to see where, once Caroline Miller is healthy, where she will kind of fit into the Spirit squad and what role she's going to have.
Yeah, she's not quite really a center striker like Jody Taylor, but she's not really a wide player either.
Right.
But I think having her available, especially as a sub where she excelled last year, gives some tactical flexibility where maybe you do go with 2 up front at some point.
And sometimes, back to Caroline Miller, sometimes the best roles is that super sub. And she did a fantastic job in many of the games where she came off the bench last summer for the Spirit.
Early ball can't quite pick out Alex Morgan, and this is the kind of role Lisa Devanna started her career for Australia, where she was the player that came in the last 20, 30 minutes, just ran like crazy and scored goals. But I think she's become a more well-rounded player in more recent years where she can be a 90-minute player for a team.
I just remember seeing her first years here with WPS was just put her head down and go, go, go. She certainly has developed as time has gone on, which is expected. Nice
work there from Devanna to pick out Christine Nairn in the box now. Chance for Jody Taylor. Cuts back. Taylor's shot is blocked by 2 sliding tackles as Sarah Huffman continues her strong match.
That was certainly a great recovery by Sarah Huffman.
Header one there in the back by Farley. Played wide by Singer. Lindsay now with time and space. Going towards the 18. Plays it in on the 4. Dummy through by Nairn. Sliding shot goes just wide. Devanna almost making an impact 2.5 minutes into her Spirit career.
I know. That would have been a fantastic goal. What a great build-up. Lori Lindsay did a great job at freeing herself on that right flank and sending it across. And a good little flick. Was it Jody Taylor that flicked it? No,
Dummy
Nairn.
there from Nairn. And just a sliding chance from Devanna, just a little bit off. Remind me a lot of the goal that Ecuador scored in the World Cup yesterday. Just a sliding chance at the far post.
Sure.
Right place, right time.
Sometimes it doesn't matter how it goes in as long as it gets to the back of the net.
Matheson, Lindsay, Everbush. Coming back is Devanna. Working against Moros, her former teammate here in Washington. Centrally for Diana Matheson. Scoops it wide. And the flag is up on Lisa Devanna. Free kick for Portland will come in the 49th minute. Again, if you're just joining us, a big match for both teams. The Spirit entering the weekend in 4th place in the final playoff spot on 19 points. Portland 117 in position right now to move into that playoff spot.
And you know, unfortunately, they lost their last 2 games, but it was without Krieger. It was without Ashlyn Harris, without DMath, and you know, really big impact players. I think, you know, judging by how the rest of this game goes moving forward, I think they're going to continue to grow, especially with all these great new additions to the program.
The other game tonight is another game with big playoff implications. It's number 2, FC Kansas City, against number 3, Chicago. That game kicking off at 8 o'clock Eastern time. So we'll finish up here, and you can switch right over to that one. Nikki Cross goes left for Gale. Devanna cutting inside. Morrow steps in, but Devanna keeps right on going. Taylor making the run left. It'll come for her, but cleared out now. As Portland made a change at the break as well that I didn't see, as Rachel Van Hollenbeck is in now. So we'll track down who she came in for.
That's not a terrible idea right there for Lori Lindsay, but that's a straight ball into a straight runner. Betos is going to sniff that ball out every single time it comes into her 18.
The move was Van Hollenbeck for Catley, so sorry we didn't get that one to you right away, but that was the move at the half. So both teams have made one change. Van Hollenbeck is working her way back from injury. She's only played 45 minutes this year as a substitute. That came against Western New York in that blowout on June 7th. So really her first meaningful action in a NWSL game this year that actually has something on the line.
Right.
Back heel from Devanna, cleared by Marshall. We would have had Australia against Australian had they not made that change with Devanna going against Catley, but change was made. Matheson, Lindsay, Nairn with the early switch. Up comes Alex Singer. Betos off her line. And initially didn't read that one spectacularly, but was able to have the time to let that one roll into the 18.
I'm not so sure she thought it was even going to come into 18. It could have been an interesting 50-50 ball between Singer and Betos.
The other thing, going back to that Kansas City-Chicago game, is Sinclair plays it over the top for Morgan. Shuts it down. Morgan in the box. Off the line comes Jones. Morgan keeping it alive. Plays it back. Farrow's shot goes just wide.
You could tell when Vero struck that ball, her hips were incredibly open and not even really facing frame, and that's why the ball went off frame to the right side. Great individual effort by Alex Morgan to bring that ball down and to create that opportunity for Vero.
Second time we've seen Morgan get herself in a good position and choose to make the pass rather than shoot the ball. That would have been a really tough angle with Houston guarding the near post. So again, she made the right decision, dishing to Sinclair for the first goal and made the right decision again, but just Vero couldn't put it on frame.
Which is so good to see with somebody of Alex Morgan's abilities. She can score goals, but she can also produce them as well.
The point I was going to make before that play was, say Chicago wins tonight, then they're on 23, Kansas City's on 24, and the Spirit are all of a sudden 4 points out of third rather than one, which is where they enter tonight.
Right.
Seattle has opened up quite a lead. They have 32 points, and they have 2 matches in hand on FC Kansas City, the team right behind them. Of course, the news today, we'll have to wait and see just how long they're without Hope Solo.
Should be interesting. I think a lot of answers or questions will be answered on Monday.
Statements from U.S. Soccer, from the league, from the Reign saying, you know, we're kind of just waiting to see how this is going to play out. We're not going to really pass judgment or say anything definitive, which is the right move.
Yeah, you can't. Nobody knows the situation because they weren't there.
Chantel Jones in her own box will dribble it forward, allow her players to get up. But that's the nice thing for Seattle about getting that big lead is you have that cushion where if something goes wrong, you can still make the playoffs comfortably and probably get that number 1 seed.
They've set themselves up very nicely going into the middle of the season.
Flicked on now by Lindsay, one by Farley. Now Brooks. Vero playing it forward. Sinclair. Farley. Kept alive now for Brooks. Early ball for Sinclair. Huster can't get a foot on it. Sinclair will track it down in the corner. Back for Farley. Vero. Brooks with the chip. Touched up the line and now finally cleared as we'll reset the lineups here for you here in a minute once this attack peters out. Moros. Brooks. Van Hollebeck. Hoffman almost kept that alive. So for Portland, it's Betos in goal. Hoffman's now playing left back after playing right in the first half. You've got Van Hollenbeck in the center with Marshall, and now Mingus has moved from center back to right back. Midfield is Farley, Brooks, Vero, and Moros, Morgan and Sinclair up front. For the Spirit, it's Jones in goal. Gale at left back. Cross now partnering with Huster in the center after Huster started in midfield. Singer at right back. Vero keeping it alive and will lose out to Nairn. Farley dancing left, finds Huffman. Right footed crosses deflected by Matheson into the 18. Header goes over a couple of players, headed now by Cross. Singer gets a foot in. It goes up the line for Matheson. Ball being tussled for and finally goes out for a throw. So now it's Nairn who started on the left wing holding with Averbush. And then you've got Lindsay Matheson and Devanna as that next line and Taylor as your center forward.
And that's Nairn's natural position. She's not a wide player.
What a touch from Morgan. The shot from Farley goes wide. Didn't have much of an angle with Huster defending, but Alex Morgan's passing ability really being shown off today.
Right, yeah. And we talked about this a few minutes ago. She's able to not only create chances for herself, but set up opportunities for her teammates. I definitely think that should have been in the back of the net for Farley.
See it again. Really nice chest trap. Just a little too much on it. Actually, this is the chance earlier that Vero missed wide. Could have very easily been 3-0. Devanna working hard. Sprays it right for Matheson. Taylor is central. Matheson into the 18. Left-footed ball towards the middle. Crashing in to win it is Devanna, and it's finally cleared. Now we'll go the other way. The speed demon in white this time, Alex Morgan. Going against Cross. Morgan, left-footed shot, and that was never going to trouble Chantel Jones. Christine Sinclair disappointed with that decision as she put her head up a little bit.
Right.
She can't complain too much. She already has one goal off of a Morgan assist.
Right. And I think Nikki Cross did a great job in that situation at just holding Alex Morgan there and not really allowing her to get a good look on frame.
Singer. Matheson. Singer will knock it forward, looking for Jody Taylor. Header won instead by Van Hollebeck. Huffman will knock it out. Have we decided on a new nickname for Van Hollenbeck? Because Van Hollenbeck Dozer doesn't sound as good as Buell Dozer did.
Yeah.
We'll work on that one.
Yeah, I'm sure the Thorns fans could come up with something, pull themselves out there.
Farley. Cross towards the middle, too far for Christine Sinclair, and it'll be Gale coming out with it. Yeah, if you're just joining us, the Thorns struck early. 2 in the first 10 minutes. 1 from Sinclair, 1 from Morgan. Morgan set up that initial strike from Christine Sinclair. Second goal of the year for Sinclair. First for Morgan. Of course, this is just her second game back in league play. And, you know, normally off an injury, you worry about players getting formed back. Alex Morgan has had no problems.
Yeah. And she expressed her frustration during the injury time as to not really knowing when she was going to be coming back. And I think she put in great minutes in the second half against France the other day and proved what she's able to do for the national team.
Amber Brooks will see yellow for that late tackle, so she's the first Thorns player to be booked. Robin Gale got a yellow early in the 9th minute, and really, Danielle, she could have been sent off. She had a hard tackle right in front of us nearly through that first half that was whistled for a foul, but not another booking.
A yellow card caution has been issued.
Third yellow of the year for Brooks.
Number 22, Amber Brooks.
So 2 away from that threshold to be suspended for 1 game. Nairn. Cleared by Huffman, brought down by Sinclair. Mangus goes wide, gets it back. Switch now for Van Hollenbeck. And out for a throw-in. What's scary too, Danielle, is we see all this attacking talent. You've got Jess McDonald on the bench with 6 goals.
Right.
And you've got Tobin Heath on the way.
This is definitely going to be a great Thorns team once all their players, once Heath gets back, once they're all able to continue to gel with one another. Should be interesting come playoff time to see where they're going to be in the standings.
Ball given away. Now Huster. Slid away, and she'll try it again. We talked about Seattle having that big lead. The flip side of that is, do you lose your edge if you have that big of a lead? And come playoff time, can you find that other gear again? Certainly the Seattle showed no signs of slowing down. Cross in by Devanna, slid away, intended for Taylor's. Van Hollenbeck got a good foot in. She too is trying to fight her way back to fitness from injuries. Just her second appearance of the year, both as a substitute. Lindsay. Space to shoot. She'll play it on the floor. Matheson touches it through, and Taylor, I think, thought she was going to be caught offside and held her run, and by the time she went for the ball, Betos was on it.
I really don't think Taylor was expecting that to get through at all.
Nairn. Pressure by Morrill. She'll go back. Cross. Now Tori Huster. Back in that center back spot after starting in midfield today. Taylor, now Lindsay goes right for Matheson. She'll run it down in the corner. Matheson crossing it low. Back from Lindsay. Now it'll be Nairn trying the right-footed shot block. Second chance for Nairn. This time she'll try it with the left, and this time she'll finish under Michelle Betos. Christine Nairn, her 4th goal of the year. In the 62nd minute, the Spirit are back in the game.
And it was only a matter of time until the Spirit found themselves getting a goal because they have created opportunities. That was a second chance. She took the first shot. It was a deflection. She settled it, took a great second shot, and that was very well executed by Christine Nairn. Unfortunately, slid a little bit underneath Betos. She could have probably gotten on it, but because the surface, it's a little slick tonight, I think it just slipped right under Betos.
Second chance goals, one each way now. Morgan got one in the 10th minute to make it 2-0. Now Nairn gets one back in the 62nd.
Right.
Alex Morgan going to work, trying to get that goal back by herself, and Alex Singer will slide it out. It'll be a corner for the Thorns here in the 62nd minute as Allie Long gets instructions from Paul Riley. Looks like she will be the second sub for Portland, and a good sub to make up a goal. She can really hold the ball, keep possession.
Right. And I've loved seeing her development from her first year here with the Freedom and the WPS and how she's grown as a player, and she's put in some great minutes with the national team lately. She's just become a very exciting player to watch.
Concern now for the Spirit, and I believe that's Singer that's down.
It looked as if Lori Lindsay was stretching her for some cramping.
Singer, too, is someone who's just come over from Germany and had an injury-plagued year. And will we see Denisha Adams pressing some emergency duty at right back again? She started both the games while the players are gone for national team duty. She's the part that's warming up right now to the right of us. So Singer getting hydrated, getting stretched out. Respite for both teams. We should mention This weather is ridiculous for June in
I-
DC.
I know.
It almost feels like we're in the Pacific
I know,
Northwest
it
rather
does.
than entertaining a team from there. Temperatures in the mid-60s, a little bit of a breeze. Really pleasant evening.
Mm-hmm. Raining here and there through the day. It's been a crazy week weather-wise. I think it was like almost 100 on Wednesday, and then
Right.
Thursday the rain came in. It was a nice day yesterday, another rainy day today, kind of all over the place.
We can see the fourth officials board from up here. It looks like Amber Brooks is going to be the player that makes way for Allie Long, but we'll see if that's confirmed. The other thing with this long stoppage is we're going to have a lot of stoppage time. So the Spirit can keep
Certainly.
this, can make this a one-goal game, keep this a one-goal game. More time for them to try and look for that tying goal.
Right.
Singer will be helped off.
Alex Singer, the injured Spirit player.
It looks as if Denisha Adams has taken off her warm-up penny to maybe put in some minutes.
Looks like Singer is walking okay. She might be able to re-enter. But before that, a corner. Headed out by Nairn. And out for a throw-in for Portland.
Portland substitute.
We'll see Allie Long.
65th minute. Entering the game, number 10, Allie Long replaces number 22, Amber Brooks. Long for Brooks in the 65th
Brooks will
minute.
make way.
What great options for Paul Riley, being able to sub in Van Hollenbeck and
Long.
Allie Long.
Two national team players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was Portland's second substitution.
Farrow. Cross in. And Jones will call off Nikki Cross. Yeah, and then if you're Paul Riley, if this game does get a little bit out of control, you need a goal, you can bring Jess McDonald in. Then you have Shim as well. And you
Right.
have Angie Kerr that can also kind of do it similar to what Long does, hold the ball, possession, smart decisions.
Right. Other than Alex Morgan, I think the offense for the Thorns has been kind of quiet here in the second half. Maybe that's a change they'll look towards in the last 20 minutes or so.
Switch left, nice ball for Morgan. Left-footed ball right at Chantel Jones. Good job there by Matheson as well to put some pressure on,
Right.
but Morgan had an open shot.
Certainly. And if Morgan would have made that, it would have been called back because she was offsides. The far assistant referee had her flag up.
Early ball from Matheson. Taylor working hard again in that right channel. Shielding Van Hollenbeck. Dropping it for Lindsay. Nairn sliding it for Taylor. Cross towards the far post towards Savannah. Mingus in trouble, and Betos comes to rescue. Savannah has done some dangerous work since coming on at the half, but still sniffing that first goal.
Right. She's certainly been in the right place. She just has not been able to make great contact with the ball in front of the net.
Here it is again. Nice ball across, and Mingus really dealt with that well, but Betos was good to read it and see that there was a little bit of danger. Come off and get it.
And we just saw Alex Singer pop back in. Looks as if she was just cramping.
So the Spirits still have two changes available to them. Gale with the block, a throw for Sinead Farley and the Thorns here in the 67th minute. Michael Minnick here alongside John Malagari here at the Maryland Soccerplex. Vero. And Cross will knock it out for a corner kick. Sports of the Match is brought to you by Hampton Inn and Suites, Washington, D.C., North Gaithersburg, the official hotel partner of the Washington Spirit for 2014. Allie Long is the primary corner kick taker for the Thorns, and she'll get her first of the night here in the 68th minute. Driven in towards the far post and behind the far post out for a goal kick.
And that's the second wasted corner kick we've seen from the Thorns tonight. You don't typically see those at this level.
Well, and when you have Christine Sinclair as your target, you really hate to waste corner kicks.
You don't want to lose those opportunities.
Jones goes long. Savannah bumps it back. Long for Sinclair. Dumps it into space for Alex Morgan. Marked by Huster. And a good tackle from Huster, but she does concede another corner.
And that's okay. You'd rather the corner kick at this point than 1v none with Chantel Jones and Alex Morgan.
Spirit bench right now. You've got Cuellar, you've got Perez, and you've got Adams available as your field substitutions. Long off the short corner. Touches it back. Vero's cross. Headed out by Huster. Second ball kept alive by Portland. Sinclair turning on a dime, laying it off into space. Vero a little bit late to read it. Matheson gets there first. Tangle there, kept alive. Huffman off the drop. Turnover there. Really haven't said Everbush's name a lot in the second half, but good defensive play there.
She's been very quiet, I think.
Dumping it long into space as Devanna has switched sides, but she won't run this one down. Putting Van Paulin back under a lot of heat, though, and it will be a goal kick. Van Hollenbeck doing enough to shake the speedy Australian. Betos will take some of the air out of this game. Take her time with this goal kick.
I certainly think the last 10 minutes or so, the game has settled and there's been opportunities on both sides. It's not been one way or the other.
Devanna cutting inside. Nice footwork from her. Opens up a pass for Matheson. Cleared by Long. Vero. Morgan turns it over. Oh, and a giveaway to Morgan, and she'll chip it and put that one in. Chantel Jones with a big mistake, and Alex Morgan now has 2 goals and an assist in this one.
That's a very unfortunate giveaway. Kudos to Alex Morgan. She did a great job at putting pressure. You always want to see that. Put pressure on the goalkeeper. Maybe they'll cough it up. She got the opportunity, fell to her feet, and what a brilliant finish. Just a nice little chip. She didn't really have to think twice about it.
So a brace for the national team, and now a brace for the club team this week for Alex Morgan.
Right. That's definitely an unfortunate giveaway because the Spirit have done such a great job at building themselves back into this game. And you really hate to see that type of goal be put into the back of the net when they have really been doing a good job.
Dummy there from Morgan, and Gail picks it up on the other side. Well, Denisha Adams will replace Alex Singer after all. She's at the 4th official right now. I see 21 there on the board, so that'll be Singer. Sinclair for Morgan, cutting back. Morgan keeping her footing, shaking Singer, shooting, and this time Jones makes the save. No hat trick this time for Alex Morgan.
Still got 19 minutes left, though. There's still room for something.
The Thorns have never had a hat trick in their short history. So Morgan trying to make some history. Nairn. Left for Taylor. Excuse me, that's Devanna crossing it. Actually, that was Taylor crossing it for Devanna. Averbush. Huster. Lindsay wants it at her feet. Instead, it's a chip forward, headed out. Lindsay will hit it hard and low and wide. A goal kick. We'll see Denisha Adams now. Second change for Washington here in the 72nd minute.
Entering the game is number 99, Denisha Adams. Replaces number 21, Alex Singer. Adams for Singer.
And this is the bad part of trading Bianca Sierra, is you're short of defenders, and you have to use Denisha Adams again.
Right. You know, I was just thinking the same thing. But, you know, in situations where Toni Presley, when she's healthy, Allie Krieger can go a full 90, you're not really going to have to look to Denisha Adams to step in.
Crystal Dunn's healthy again.
Correct. Right. So I think with the trade with Bianca, I certainly think Mark Parsons, that was probably what was on his mind when he made that trade.
Moros for Long. Farley. Played through and knocked out by Huster.
From up here, you can just hear Ashlyn Harris on the sideline yelling instructions to her teammates. I'm sure it's just killing her that she can't be out there.
Well, and it's so difficult. You play a friendly on Thursday, then you have to, possibly play for your club team on Saturday.
Right.
Not a lot of recovery time if you pick up even a little knock like Ashlyn Harris did.
Mm-hmm.
Morgan has her pass blocked. Another throw for the Thorns, and again they will stretch the letter of the law, but stay within it. Take their time on this throw in. And Adams will knock it out for a corner. Adams has actually done fairly well in that emergency role in the last 2 games, but certainly not her preferred position.
But you know what? Sometimes when you want to play bad enough, you'll say, hey, put me wherever you need me.
Portland fans on the far side raising their voices, but this time the corner goes for nothing. Foul there. The Rose City Riveters banner, I'm sure you can see to the opposite side of us. Portland fans are everywhere. Vera with a great shot, but saved by Jones to her right. Gale for Devanna, as you see that shot again, as Vera really hit that one cleanly. Had some bend on it, but Jones saw it all the way.
I certainly think if Vera would have hit that far post, it would have been in the back of the net.
Switch now to Matheson. Good job again with Huffman providing the block. Knocking it out. Sarah Huffman just making her 3rd start. That speaks again to the depth that this team has.
Right.
That somebody like Huffman can be a second half sub most of the time, but can step right in and also start and play a good 90 for you today.
Absolutely. And she has so much experience. Why not put her in that position? Because she'll just battle, and she'll work. She'll get forward. She'll get back, and she'll just battle in the back line for the Thorns. It's really good to see her out there.
Moros, too far from Oregon. We talked about it. 7 players in the 2010 Washington Freedom are on these 2 teams. And they've all played today.
Right.
Except for Harris. Devanna and Moros and Marshall and Long and
I think Moros
Singer
has been incredibly quiet in this game. I feel like we haven't really said her name too much.
She's been steady. I mean, when you have the players like Morgan and Sinclair in front of you, you need somebody to do the hard work, and Moros does that well.
Exactly.
Farley has had a good match. Nice chip over Huster's head. Has Morgan in support. Plays on the floor for Morgan. Cutting back now on Cross. It's Morgan, and Cross gets a foot in. Another chance for Morgan. Drop back this time for Vero. Nice job from Averbush. But Long doing what she does, getting in the way. Gets it back. Vero. Leisurely jog towards the 18. And Morgan's pass off the mark. Sinclair in the 5th from Morgan. Morgan in the 10th. Nairn in the 62nd. And Morgan in the 70th. Your scoring summary. Portland leads Washington 3-1. This portion of the match is brought to you by Hampton Inn & Suites, Washington, D.C., North Gaithersburg, the official hotel partner of the Washington Spirit for 2014. Here's Morgan again. On her left foot, playing it across, and Gale with the block. Corner for the Thorns in the 78th minute. Oh, no, it's going to be a goal kick.
Yeah. Morgan hit it off of Gale, I believe, and then it bounced back off of Morgan to go out of bounds. You just heard from down on the field, Mark Parsons made a little bit of an adjustment. He went to a 3-4-3, and bumped Anisha Adams up as like an outside left midfielder.
Ball played over the top, looking for Jody Taylor. Almost looks like a 3-1-4-2. You've got your back 3. You've got Averbush sitting in front, and then you've got Adams, Lindsay, Nairn, Matheson working interchangeably, and really looks like Devanna and Taylor are playing as 2 true forwards right now. Michelle Betos looking for her second win in 6 days in goal against Washington before the defending World Player of the Year, Nadine Ungerer, comes back. That's another thing we haven't talked about. You've got the defending World Player of the Year not even eligible, and you're winning this game 3-1. Early cross in, headed by Gale. Averbush. Plays it left. Devanna. Early ball for Jody Taylor, and Betos has that sniffed out. She'll pick it up on the edge. Ooh, and a slide there from Jody Taylor.
She'll definitely get a warning for that play.
Huffman was not too pleased, arms in the air.
Right. I mean, she really had no opportunity to get that ball. The ball was already in Beto's hand when she left her feet.
Morgan takes a bump. Oh, and a tangle there again with Nikki Cross, and we'll play on. Kristen Salazar keeping the whistle in her pocket. Huster's chip right. Brought down by Matheson and juggled out of bounds. Time running out for the Spirit in the 80th minute, down 2 goals. Thorns trying to win their second. Spirit, after that great run, looking at their 3rd straight loss right now.
And it's fine. You know, we've been saying this the whole game. If the score holds as is, you know, this is still kind of starting over for the Spirit with the additions of all these new names and faces. You know, I think there's a ton of firepower on both sides of the ball for the Spirit, and they're gonna have to continue to grow with one another.
Speaking of kind of that congealing process, next up is Houston. They've done a nice job the last few weeks.
Oh,
we saw them here a couple weeks ago really start to turn that corner, and now Randy Waldrum has that team up above Sky Blue FC in Boston into 7th.
Right. And any team on any given day, I truly think can win a game. I think every team is capable of beating one another.
Portland is back home to play Sky Blue FC, that on June 25th, 10 o'clock local time. Thorns have their 3rd sub ready. It is Jess McDonald, their leading scorer on the season. Got to wonder if maybe Morgan, who's still trying to work her way back, might get an early rest tonight.
I think she's put in some good time here tonight. 2 goals and an assist.
Sinclair playing it through. Morgan looking for a 3rd and just missing it. Jones might have got a piece of that, but they're going to say no, it was clean. Goal kick. We'll see the change now. Jess McDonald.
Portland substitution. Entering the game, number 14, Jessica McDonald for number 13, Alex.
And it will be Alex Morgan making way. So, pretty good shift for Alex Morgan. 2 goals and an assist.
And then you have McDonald coming on, who scored 6 goals already this season. You know, she's put up some great numbers for the Thorns as well.
Jess McDonald has had quite a year. Just about this time last year, she was released by Chicago, popped up in Seattle, scored 3 goals, including 2 against Washington. Then she comes to Portland. Like you said, Danielle, she scored 6. So 9 goals in a calendar year for somebody who was released by Chicago, who was looking for offensive talent last year. Here's Long.
But sometimes, in her case, you just have to be kind of paired up with the right people, the people that are able to get the ball to you.
There goes Sinclair, and the flag is up, and that was close. Maybe a half step past Story Houston.
Right.
You just get the feeling Portland has got this game where they won it. They've been able to keep possession, still be threatening.
Right.
Really not allowing Washington to do much offensively in the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, and they've certainly quieted the Spirit's opportunities.
Might be a chance here for Devanna. Tackle there. And referee will give a corner kick to Washington. She was well back of the play, so really would have been tough to give a penalty from that far out.
Really not anywhere near the play.
Corner for Nairn in the Spirit. Can they grab a lifeline here, down 2 goals late? It'll be a right-footed ball from the former Penn State Nittany Lion. Floated towards Denisha Adams. She rises for it. Long gets a piece of it as well. Devanna, left. Nairn will try it again. Driven cross. Looked like it might have come up and gotten the hand of a Portland player, but will continue. Out for a throw. 84th minute. Cross dropping it back. Now it's Averbush. Gale was all the way forward, but couldn't get on the end of that one as Van Hollenbeck got a foot in. McDonald has lots of time on that sideline to win the ball. Drops it. Early ball. Vero, turnover to Lindsay. Good block again from Allie Long. Now space for Sinead Farley to attack. Vero opening up to her off. She'll get the ball. I don't think Huster saw her. Vero on the edge of the box, cutting back, splitting the defense, playing over Sinclair. Nice layoff in the box. Farley is in, and a good kick save from Jones, and McDonald will bury the rebound. Her 7th of the year, and Portland surely has this one in the bag now. It's 4-1.
That was a great build-up. That was a great counterattack by the Thorns there. Chantel Jones did a good job at making that initial save, but there was nobody there for the Spirit to clean it up and get it up and out.
The 3rd time this year that Jess McDonald has scored in consecutive games. And her 4th goal against the Spirit in her short career.
And it was probably one of the easiest ones she's had to score all year.
So, the likes of Cross and Singer brought in to shore up the defense, and maybe it'll come, but so far today they've given up 4.
Right. And you asked the question, well, does it matter that we conceded the 4th goal? Because they changed into that formation to throw numbers forward. If you're losing 3-1, it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things if you give up another one, because you need to put a ball in the back of the net.
Yeah, and then goal differential really is not going to be the Spirit's friend no matter what. They're right around 500 with that, right around even. So if they got a tiebreaker situation, probably they're going to lose it.
Yes.
The winners of the raffle for the 3 game-worn jerseys from 2013.
Portland now has scored 9 of their 16 goals in the second half. So they've been a little bit better in the second half this year. But I go back to that stat I mentioned earlier, undefeated when they score first, and they're in position to keep that going. Ball intended for Devanna goes out of bounds.
Gets the jersey of their choice. The winners are Allison Huber, Sage Hudson, and Haley Boucher or Boucher.
Now Robin Gale. Lindsay into space for Averbush. Matheson trying to shake Huffman. Nice ball for Taylor. Laid off now into space for Averbush. Averbush's ball right across is blocked and slid on by Betos. Sarah Huffman again.
And she's had a solid performance back there for the Thorns this evening. Sarah Huffman's been all over the place, going forward, coming back. She's really had a fantastic game.
And certainly Alice Morgan will be in the player of the week conversation for just statistically what she's done, 2 goals and an assist, but she's been good. I think Sinclair's had a really good game. Huffman's been good. Really just a nice performance all around from Portland. Farley, who started the attack for that 4th goal, has been steady, going 2 ways on that wing.
Right.
Huffman now looking for more for Portland against Cross. Gets the ball in, gets by Gale, and Jess McDonald scoring a tougher one this time.
Yes,
it's 5-1.
Certainly. What, she's been in for 8 minutes now, and she has 2 goals. And where does it start from? Sarah Huffman making a run forward on the left flank, sending a really good cross in for an easy kind of tap in there.
Portland 5, the Spirit 1.
And Denisha Adams was just a step behind.
McDonald shooting up that leaderboard. She's still in 3rd now in scoring in the league, but now it's just a goal behind Amy Rodriguez for 2nd. Little's on 11, Rodriguez on 9. McDonald moving out of a tie with Jody Taylor for 3rd. Taylor's still stuck on 6. McDonald now has 8. Handball there on Mingus.
Seems as if she's going to get a card here for an intentional handball.
I didn't see much intent in that at all.
Maybe it was for kicking the ball away after the whistle.
So the third player to see yellow, Mingus, joining Gale and Brooks.
Number 21, Emily Menges. Yellow card to Menges.
And maybe the Spirit can get a consolation prize when a textbook Christine Nairn free kick.
Right.
Wouldn't that be wild if Nairn scored? You have 3 players with 2 goals in this game. Morgan, McDonald, and maybe Nairn. Big wall from Portland. They know the threat here. And not this time.
We've seen her certainly put better opportunities on frame, better shots on frame. But it seemed as if Beto's, the way she lined up, she was actually directly behind the wall, which is not what you normally see. You see the wall set up on the near post and then the goalkeeper kind of shifting towards the back post a little bit. She had that near post covered.
Right, that's the point of the wall, to cover
Right.
half the goal.
Exactly. But I want to say she was sneaking over to that left post, knowing that Nairn was going to probably hit it with her left foot, curl it near post.
Vero. Turned over to Cross. Vero. Switching it right for McDonald. Against Savannah now with Gale in support. She's just going to go towards the corner and kill off the rest of this game. We're in stoppage time now. We'll have 3 minutes of it. Two weeks ago, Danielle, Portland was, the talk was, what's wrong with Portland? You get absolutely poleaxed by Western New York.
Right.
But now they've come back. They've beaten a Spirit team that's in the playoff position right now. 2-0 and maybe now 6-1. And it will stay 5-1 for now as Sinclair misses one.
Right. Yeah, and like I said earlier, any team on any day can beat another. So, you know, teams have bad games. I don't think this is the best performance by the Spirit. You know, Portland had a bad game against Western New York. It happens. That's what happens in professional sports. And I think they're really going to start to come alive with, you know, Heath coming in and Morgan being healthy again.
Allie Long, the intended target, gets by Cross, Long in the box, and slots it by Chantel Jones. 6-1 Portland, and Chantel Jones is livid.
Right. I mean, a lot of the goals have just been leaving Chantel out to drive. Out to dry. She really has no opportunities on any of these finishes.
Half an hour ago, this was a 2-1 game. Now
Right.
it's a 6-1 game.
The tides have certainly turned.
Allie Long's goal credited as unassisted. Added time. Portland 6, Washington 1.
And as low as the Spirit got last year, they didn't get this low.
No.
Never gave up 6.
Nope. Which, you know, you're still missing 2 key components in Allie Krieger and
Crystal Dunn.
Ashlyn Harris and Crystal Dunn. It's a bad game, but they'll regroup. They're gonna have to. They're gonna have to find a way to regroup from this.
Jones off her line. We'll clear it. And really, it was a failed clearance by Chantel Jones that really changed this game. The
Yes.
Spirit got it back to 2-1 on the Nairn goal, had some momentum, and then a bad touch from Jones gave Alex Morgan an easy finish in the 70th minute, and
Right.
it was floodgates from there. Morgan in the 70th, McDonald in the 85th and 88th, and now Allie Long in stoppage time.
And even though they've given up these 6 goals, this is a hard team to go to a 3-back. You know, with Sinclair and McDonald and Morgan up top, this is a very hard team to change that formation because they're going to punish it.
Adams. Nice ball over the top for Jody Taylor, who takes a bit of a bump from Nikki Marshall, but legally, that allows Betos to come and get it. Cross. Turns it over to Moros. Sinclair. Chip left. Adams gets a second chance on the clearance. This time does do it cleanly. Devanna trying to turn on Mingus. Takes a tangle there. Referee Kristen Salazar will give the free kick to Washington.
And Menges has to be careful. She's sitting on a yellow as well.
That's a good point. Free kick from Christine Nairn. Deep into the 3 minutes of stoppage time. Flicked on by Cross. And handled now by Portland. Vero.
Correction again on the scoring of Ali Long's goal. Credit the assist to number 9, Veronica Bouquet.
They'll give away an assist to Vero, and that just piles on to the misery for the Washington Spirit. Portland wins 6-1 on the road.
Right. Certainly not the best performance from the Spirit, but a couple weeks ago, Portland found themselves down 5-0 to Western New York, and they rebounded to have a 6-1 win. So it's very possible they will regroup. They're going to have to find a way to kind of dig themselves out of this little losing streak they have here. We've seen them dig themselves out of situations where they're losing in games to win games. So a little blip in the season, but they're going to have to turn it around.
Portland remains perfect against the Spirit all time.
Right. And that was a great performance by them. I thought the Spirit did well to get themselves back into it, but Portland never stopped. They never stopped. They just kept pushing until they continued to put the balls in the back of the net.
If you're Mark Parsons, what positives do you take out of this?
I think he needs to look at the fresh faces and know, Garifakis is coming in as well. There are positives. They're still at the top of, they're not in the bottom of the standings. They're close to the top of the standings. So you got to stay positive about the season. Every team has these types of lulls in their season, and they're just going to have to rebound from this and go back to square one with all these fresh faces.
On the other side, Portland has got to be flying high.
Oh, yeah, certainly. I mean, it was a great performance all the way around. Jess McDonald came in for the last 20 minutes of the game, maybe 15 minutes of the game, put 2 balls in the back of the net. You have people coming off the bench that can finish these opportunities as well.
Well, and, when you have this kind of attacking talent, you're going to have players that are going to have to come off the bench.
Exactly.
And Jess McDonald responded beautifully
Exactly.
to being in that situation. The Spirits' chances were I wouldn't say few and far between, but certainly
Right.
not as many as Portland had.
Right.
But they had a couple looks here in the second half. Morgan, I thought, really showed a lot of poise.
Mhm.
It could have been 7.
It could
Vero
have been.
just missing there. But Nairn taking advantage of her second chance, and Betos probably wishes she could say that. She probably would have loved to
Right.
see 6-0. But
Yes.
Nairn does get her 4th of the year. Betos doing really well there to defend. I thought Devanna gave them a spark, but as I said earlier, the game really turned on this. Miss
Right.
it from Chancellor Jones. Alex Morgan chips. The Spirit have to change formations to get back in the game.
Certainly.
And then a clinic of finishing from Morgan and company is she almost had her 3rd there. Farley was there at the far post. And you see a lot of the same faces. You see Morgan a lot. You see Farley a lot. Vero making plays. Good layoff there from Sinclair. Jones making a good save. And then Jess McDonald completely unmarked.
Right.
Getting her 1st. And then Huffman playing another great ball, and McDonald getting a tougher second one. And, looking at these last couple of goals, Danielle, we're only seeing 1 or 2 players in white. It was just a lot of good individual skill and finishing from the Portland Thorns.
It certainly was.
So we'll recap the scoring for you one more time. Sinclair in the 5th from Morgan. Morgan in the 10th. Then, believe it or not, in this game, we didn't have a goal for 52 minutes.
Wow.
Christine Nairn scored in the 62nd. Then it was Morgan in the 70th, McDonald in the 85th, McDonald in the 88th from Huffman, and then Ali Long in stoppage time from Vero. Final thoughts on this one?
The Spirit have to pull themselves out of this little slump that they are in right now. I thought it was a fantastic performance by the Thorns. In the second half, they came out very quiet but finished incredibly strong. So it was a good, solid 90 minutes from the Thorns. Not so much from the Spirit, but they will rebound, they'll regroup, and they'll move on from it.
Portland goes from a tie for 5th into a tie for 3rd. They're on 20 points now, even with Chicago heading into that game with FC Kansas City. Spirit now are on 19 points. They move to 5th 2 points ahead of Western New York, 1 behind Portland, 1 behind Chicago. So still a lot of tightness there in the middle of the
Right.
standings. Thorns now 6-4-2. Spirit 6-7-1. Next game for these two teams, the Spirit are at Houston to battle the Dash. That on June 28th at 9 o'clock Eastern time, and then the Thorns, they're home on the 25th, a midweek game at home against Sky Blue FC. That game will kick off at 10 o'clock. Once again, the final score: the Portland Thorns 6 and the Washington Spirit 1. For Daniel Mugger and Michael Minnick, have a good night and enjoy another busy week in the NWSL next week.